Hello everyone at Enchanted Emerald. This is Melissa bringing you a reading here for this Wednesday, August 9th, 2023. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about how we are navigating this post-Lionsgate energy. I know for me, I've had some trouble sleeping the last couple of nights. I feel that this energy's kind of affected me in that way. So I'm not sure if that's the same way for you guys. But for this reading today, really wanted to tap into the energy, really feel into this and see what we could do in terms of navigating this energy and in terms of what it is that we need to do to be manifesting the things that we need in our lives, the things that we want in our lives, and moving forward into that. And so really feeling as though this is about our own will, our free will, our desires, really having to focus on things that we want, okay? So really maintaining that focus, being the capacity for a change here, right? I do feel like this is going to be requiring us to make some sacrifices in our lives. We will have to be the change agent, right? We will have to be advocating for ourselves in terms of creating that change. We will have to be that change, right? In terms of getting the desired results and getting what we want out of this, okay? So we will have to do things differently. We will have to be active going forward and doing things differently. I do feel as though things can happen very quickly, but I do feel like, so other people might be seeing that happening very quickly. The changes happening very quickly for you, at least externally it will appear that way. But I do feel like this has been happening for a long time. I feel like these things that are taking place are things that you have been planning for a while. You've been thinking about them for a very long time. So for you, this change will be a lot more like a very smooth transition going forward. Just seem more like a gradual change than anything, right? Because it has been a gradual change in essence. We have worked through that in our mind. We've mentally prepared, we've emotionally prepared, and now it's just making that happen in our external world, right? So I do feel like really the thing that is being highlighted here is our physical weaknesses, our mental weaknesses, right? And what I feel is happening with that is you're seeing now the cracks in your foundation, right? And so what this is doing is it's highlighting for you areas that you need to work on, things that you need to fill in to make sure that it all won't come crumbling down in the end, that things will inevitably take hold and work really well for you going forward. So I think that in these cracks of the foundation where you're filling that in, it's light is pouring in. I just see that was shown, just light pouring into those cracks in that foundation. So as we become aware of those weaknesses that we've had along the way, or things that are coming to light, you're starting to work through things, and inevitably it will work in your favor that you're healing things, and that's where that light is coming in, right? Bringing things into the light and healing those things. Maybe you are becoming more aware. I do feel as though there's a heightened awareness with this, where you in the past, maybe you were just not even aware, having access to be aware of the things that were holding you back all along. And now it's almost as if you are seeing this from a big picture perspective, where you are just very keenly aware of the things that are holding you back, and you're able to get to that root of that issue. And once you are able to do that, you are able to know exactly what you need to do to overcome that, okay? So I do feel as though there's a couple of ways that we can go about this, and I feel as though this is like going through this very easily and smoothly, and then there is this whole other aspect that is maybe going through this in a bit of a kicking and screaming, right? Like I don't want this change to happen in this way, where we try to start to control how this comes about, right? Or we don't like the process of the change. We really want that change, right? And change is inevitable. We want that desired outcome, but we really don't want to go along for the ride, right? And so where you start to resist certain aspects of that change, right? I do feel as though, this is really about staying sharp, staying focused, okay? And I think that where we talk about those physical and mental weaknesses, I feel as though maybe in the past, you were very sharp, you were very witty, you always had a comeback for things, you always knew what to say and what to do, right? Those things, but I feel as though at this point in time, you may not know what to do, you may not know what to say, right? Or maybe you're not as quick and witty with those comebacks, right? And so it's about navigating this very cautiously, navigating this energy very cautiously, navigating the situation and circumstance very cautiously, right? But, with this, I think that the key to this focus is much like the in-breath of our meditation, right? When we focus on our breathing during our meditation and we're focusing on that in-breath, we're really, in essence, mirroring the flow, right, of the universe, of our energies, right? And so if we're focusing on the in and the out, we are creating space for flow. And so when we're in that flow, things kind of happen naturally. Things kind of, when we talk about flow, we're in our raft in that river, floating down the river. We're not swimming against the current, right? And so I think that that's where you create that space to be able to not resist the change, but to just go along with it, and you'll get to your destination a lot smoother than if you were swimming up against that current. So I do feel like the key is to kind of focus on that outcome, knowing that that's what you want, right? The key is to want that outcome, know that you want the outcome, and inevitably accept that ride can be a bit bumpy getting there, okay? So this is really about overcoming the everyday things, everyday issues, right? Not getting lost in the everyday circumstances that you have to navigate, but really focusing on the end goal throughout this whole thing. And what's being brought up with that, it's almost like the bumper cars. You can make a spectacle of yourself when you are riding the bumper cars at the carnival, right? You either like it or you don't, but once you get in there and you buckle up and the ride is going, you're essentially just kind of stuck there for the duration of the ride almost, right? So, I feel as though you can get flustered and you can yell. And you can yell at people that are bumping into you, but that's the object of it all. Or you can get caught up in the moment and you can just find that, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening, and just find humor in it and just laugh and go with the flow. Some can literally unbuckle and get up and walk away and abandon their car, right? They can just say, I'm done, I'm not going to do this. They might get yelled at, but, hey, you're avoiding this. But, I feel like, in essence, it's up to you how you view this, right? You can see this as entrapment or peril, or you can say, hey, I'm here for the thrill of the ride, and I'm going to find humor in this whole situation because there's nothing I can do about this, and in the end, I will be where I want to be. So this is really entirely up to you. So how bad do you want that outcome, right? And how much are you focusing on, hey, this is where I'm going. It isn't about all of this stuff. This is all temporary, right? So can you find yourself being able to kind of laugh and overcome those circumstances, because the anger isn't going to last forever, right? Even if you have those fleeting moments of anger, which you could find through this energy, right? Really allowing yourself to experience a full range of emotions, because a lot of things are coming up at this time to be released, but those are fleeting, right? Emotions are temporary, and so it's allowing yourself to feel those emotions, and you may not even know why you are feeling those emotions. Maybe you do, but it's about learning about yourself throughout this whole process. This is really what this is, and understanding that you are the one that's in control. You are in control of your emotions. You are in control of how you react. You are in control of the car. You are the driver of the car, ultimately, right? And there's a reminder here, too, that you are already your own hero. Okay, you've been your own hero. You've saved yourself from many, many stories in this lifetime, in many past lifetimes, right? And you have nothing to prove to anybody, not even to yourself. This is really just about, hey, can I do this? Am I willing to try? And even if I don't succeed the first time, I can try it again, and maybe I will implement new techniques, and I can figure this out, and I will overcome this obstacle, right? And so it's about not selling yourself short in the process. I do hear the lyrics with this too, to a song. It's something to the effect of dropped in to see what condition my condition was in. So I just feel as though this is a reminder here too, to like only let yourself fall so far into the pit or spiral of the negative thinking, right? It's really about keeping yourself in check when it comes to your self-talk, right? So I do feel like with this keen awareness and this keen knowing of what's been holding you back this whole time, and knowing the root of that problem, and knowing how to overcome that, and knowing what you must do to overcome that, there comes this need for discipline in terms of maintaining your focus, maintaining your vibrational set point, to allow yourself to not judge yourself throughout this whole process as well. Because I do think that as we're navigating these waters, we can get to a point where we get very frustrated and flustered and really upset with things. And I think that that's where we have that tendency, if we have those things coming in for us that we feel like, man, this is never gonna work, or we get into this space where we're allowing ourselves to perpetuate such thoughts, then we are lowering our vibration, and we are focusing on all of the wrong things, and that's not going to get you to where you want to be. And so, only allowing yourself to fall so far. Allow yourself to feel the disappointment. Allow yourself to feel the anger. Allow yourself to feel all of those things, because they're totally valid emotions. But not allowing yourself to stay there and to dwell on it, okay? And I feel like anger will kind of come to the surface here at some point for people. I feel like this is really something that's highlighted, but it will rear its ugly head. But I do feel that there's a need here to understand that this is not about being showy or flashy, not allowing yourself to be really flamboyant with that anger, I guess I should say, but allowing yourself to stay focused in how you are expressing that anger, because it's a way to conserve that energy, to invest it in the way that you need to focus on your outcome, right? So you can't get caught up in this thinking of, I can't believe I didn't notice this, I should have done this differently, I should have done this sooner, because if we start to focus on that past, we are not focusing on solutions. So we can't focus on the past, we need to be focusing on the solutions going forward, okay? And this is where it's important for you to really access that strength, okay? And this is wisdom that you have access to from many, many lifetimes, okay? Know that strength is not ego. This is not about being that flashy, showy self and proving to somebody. This is not about being possessive and controlling an outcome or controlling a situation. This is not about being stubborn and trying to prove this even to yourself, right? Like, this is using power wisely. Okay, and I think that it's about this cultivation of a resilience within you to overcome any circumstance, and know that you can overcome any circumstance that you've been dealt. So it's a beautiful place to be in wielding power and creating the best outcome for yourself with the scenario you're given. And so I think it's about allowing yourself to get to a space of this ultimate intrigue and wonder, and really allowing yourself to get caught up in the moment, right? Where you could have in these moments like, aha, right? I have this moment of inspiration, or I finally know the answer. I finally have this idea, this creative idea, and I think this is how I can solve this problem, right? So as long as you are staying present, staying focused, and allowing yourself not to get caught up in the little details, I really think this is about focusing, drawing your attention to the finer details, right? But the things that bring you joy, I should say, the finer things that bring you joy. And so whatever you're in, whatever moment you're in that point in time, focusing on the things that are going right, the things that do bring you joy, the things that make you happy, it will, in essence, drown out all that other noise and the things that aren't so pleasant about the experience, right? And it will help you to stay centered throughout this whole situation by focusing on those amazing things. And so it's not saying, again, that you're not feeling other emotions at those times, right? But it's about correcting that vibe, bringing it back to, but I love this about this situation, right? This may not be going right, and I can't control this part, and this isn't my favorite part of the bumper car ride, but I can control this part, and I like this part of this. And so, and not allowing yourself to dwell in the things that you don't like, and not staying in that energy, and not spiraling into a negative thought place of all of those things, but just recovering your vibration sooner, recovering your focus sooner, because that is going to allow you to manifest more and more of the things that you do want, and less of the things that you don't want. And so I think this is a time to really pay attention to your dreams. I don't know about you guys, but I've been feeling a lot more compelled to journal, especially in the last few days. I feel like journaling is very supported at this time, whether you are writing out intentions, whether you are focused on a certain thing that you're trying to bring in to manifestation writing. I do think that is very much supported at this time. I do feel like you'll be seeing things in a whole new way through this energy. I feel like this will bring in new perspectives. You'll get clarity on things, and I do think that there will be new possibilities that present themselves throughout all of this. So there's this new openness that kind of comes in with this, right? So there's a need for you to keep your heart open, your mind open, and really pay attention to what's showing up for you. I do think that there is always a reminder that whatever it is that you're trying to manifest requires some action. So as you feel called, take the action steps that you feel guided to do, knowing what you have to do to make the things happen that you want, to bring them into your reality, and then following through on those actions. That's really important as well. And I do feel like this is a time where things could be manifesting rather quickly. I do feel like for some intentions that are set at this time through this energy, they could be manifesting as soon as this new moon, which is actually the 16th of this month. So pay attention to what's showing up for you, and really keep your vibe on point. So beautiful message here for us today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and as always, I will be back with another read for you guys again soon. Thank you so much. Take care.